and this time we're going to talk about the heart. So when we're talking about the heart, one of the important things is to make some distinguishing points about the two different systems that are so closely related. One being the cardiovascular system, meaning cardio, heart, and vascular, meaning just the blood vessels. So, but when we talk about the circulatory system, like a whole shebang, that's when we're including the blood. So there are two divisions of the circulatory system, and what's important about it is they are circuits. And so the idea is you have this heart, right? And blood is pumped in and blood is pumped out, right? That's like some basic heart stuff. But the idea of a circuit is kind of that it is a circle, right? And so, dyslexia. It moves through the entire system to return. So there's actually two of them. And those two, one is going to be the pulmonary and one's going to be the systemic circuit. Meaning there's like two different components, two different circles of blood that the heart is responsible for moving, right? So there's like circuit 1 or circle 1 and circuit 2 or circle 2. And they both really have to do with oxygenation. So let's look. So, no, let's go back. Sorry, my bad. So the first thing is the pulmonary circuit. And anytime you see pulmonary, think lungs, right? That's lungs. And then the systemic circuit, that's like the rest of the body, right? That's everything else. So that's the entire, like, system, I guess, of all organs and tissues and everything else. So, system 1, lungs. System 2, the rest of the body of the systemic circuit. Or you can switch them around, like, lungs could be 2 and the body could be 1, or whatever you want to do. So, at the sides of the heart, right, it's not an anatomical heart, but the left side of the heart, fully oxygenated blood arrives to the lungs, from the pulmonary veins, right? So this is like when we are just now getting all of our oxygen in. And the blood is sent to all the organs of the body through this like major vessel, right, called the aorta, okay, and that's how it's pumped out. However, the right side of the heart is like the receiving side of the heart, okay? So this is where like the oxygen poor blood is coming in, and it's going to get pushed around and then out to the lungs, and then it comes back, and then it gets popped out to the rest of the body, okay? I'll have some way better graphics. Don't worry, it's coming up. It's just the point is, when all of the blood is coming back from the body, it's actually been used up. All the oxygen's been used up. So the whole point of having this like systemic circulatory system is to keep oxygen at the appropriate levels in all the tissues. So we've got to circulate it back through the lung, and then it pops back out through the rest of the body. Okay, and then there's also waste products. We can get into that a little bit more. Definitely when we talk about the respiratory system. Okay, so here's what it looks like an anatomically correct version. Right? Remember we talked about circuits? Those circles? Here they are. So this one is the pulmonary, so lungs. Okay, gas exchanges. And this is the systemic, right? Here's the body, the rest of the body. Okay? So the heart is located in your chest. Let's start with it's in the chest. And it's mostly in the middle, but it's off to the side a little bit. It's located specifically between the lungs at the mediastinum. And so there's some other things that are kind of important to know about heart orientation, right? So if we think of, here's the person who's going to have the heart, right? And here's their heart. It's right there. In the middle of the chest. It's actually more oriented towards like in the middle of the lungs is really how you kind of want to think about it. And there's actually like a cardiac notch that's taken out of the lungs. There's some low position stuff that we'll get into later that's pretty important. So the top of the heart is actually the base. Is the top, right? Top of the heart, which is kind of crazy. And then the apex of the heart is way down here. And I know that's kind of inverted, but like here's what I want you to think of. Like apex is like an A, right? It's like the top pointiest point of something. And so for a heart, the top pointiest point is actually at the bottom. And so that's why that is referred to as the apex, right? Then in the base, think of it being like the broadest point of the heart, right? Is the base. And that's actually at the top of the heart. So there's that. It weighs about the size of a sirloin, a good sized one. And it's usually around the size of your fist or so. Just, to keep that in mind. Which when I make a fist, I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart is so tiny. So small. It's doing so much more. Okay, so here's what it looks like inside of the chest cavity. Inside, snuggled up in the big lung bean bags. Right, there they are. Okay, and as you can see here, you have these blood vessels that are going directly into the lungs, facilitating the pulmonary circuit, right? And then all of these up here, larger vessels that are avoiding the lungs, right? And so these are taking blood in that is out O2 poor, right? And then it's pushing out 1, 2, 3, and then also this part of the aorta like goes to the inferior part of the body, right? So that's O2 rich. Okay, and that's like the aorta. Okay, so those are kind of the big things to notice. Some other things to notice that are smaller details but are really, really important are these blood vessels right here. So we're going to talk about them a little bit later on, but these are the blood vessels that actually feed the heart, right? Because the thing is the inside of the heart, it has to pump blood. And if it just absorbed blood, then it would blow up like a balloon, right? Like a sponge. So the inside of the heart, it looks like it has like a plastic coating, which we'll talk about later. And so in order to feed the heart its own blood, it has to have its own circulatory system. It has to have its own blood vessels, right? And then over here, this is all fat on the heart, okay? And it's because this muscle just don't stop working. It's always going, it's always pumping. And so sometimes it needs like some quick access to energy. Also, you can see where if somebody has too much weight on their body, they might have too much fat directly lying on their heart, and that could cause problems choking out the heart, right? If you could imagine this heart maybe having too much fat on it, it would be harder for it to work. It would be harder for it to get blood through those teeny tiny blood vessels. So small, right there. Okay. Other things to know about the heart is, let me erase some stuff. I'm going to erase it in here somewhere. Okay. Other things about the heart that are kind of important to know, and actually the lungs, and just in general, is the serosa, right? Remember the serosa from APII, like seriously first day? So those are the bags of double-lined, protective layers around many of the organs and cavities of the body. Okay, and so when all of these lungs are breathing in and breathing out, and this heart is pumping and bumping, you don't want all of these organs running into each other, or they're going to scrape and scratch and cause problems. And so these fluid-filled sacs, this double-lined baggie around the heart and the lungs, are going to protect them from that. Let's see here. What else can I tell you? Parietal. Parietal, again, means something that's like off to the side. Pleura means there's more than one. So in this case, there's 2 lungs, right? So we have that. Let's see. We talked about pulmonary trunk. This is going to go, pulmonary. This is going to go off into the lungs, right? It actually splits off. And let's see here. There's the lungs, base of the heart. We talked about the pericardium. Let's talk pericardium. Cardio, heart. Peri means not quite the heart, sort of the heart. And so this is going to be a layer of protection around the heart, right? So this is what we actually call that serosa layer. It's the pericardium. So if you have like pericarditis, right? So it's inflammation. Itis is the inflammation of anything, right? It's inflammation of whatever your prefix is. So in this case, it's inflammation of the layer surrounding the heart. Okay. Oh, good old diaphragm. Talk about that next system. Oh, apex. See, it's like an A. Here's like the shape of the heart, right? Here's this apex, and so there's like the broader base over here. Okay. All right. So before I get any further, I think I just, we'll stop there. And we've got a lot of introduction to get through. So I will pop in another video here in a minute. And in the meantime, I hope you are having a wonderful day. And I hope this video helped. Okay, bye-bye.